Hey YouTube, it's Hannah Loba. If you want more MotoAmerica content, check out the new and vastly improved MotoAmerica Live Plus app. It's the only place you can catch all the race action in one place all season long. Click the link in the description below.
All right, PJ Jacobsen, Matthew Skoltz, and Ty Scott, your front row.
Then we're going to have Corey Alexander and Kayla Yakov, like we just talked about, with Jake Lewis just outside of row 2. Mesa Davis, David Anthony, Teague Hobbs, who had a tremendous ride yesterday coming from 10th. Torrin Collins is just outside there, as well as Tamburini. Then we got Gerardo, LaRoche Nassini, Max Van Sneed, and Greg. Owen Williams, Hayden Bickness, and Carl Soltis will make up row number 7. And then we have Roach, Enriquez, and Ullman in row 8. And then Wyatt Ferguson is going to be trying to move forward, Greg, coming from row 9.
Fastest qualifying time, a 1:42.524. And Mesa looking to do that time or better. Here we go. 15 laps. Supersport race 2. We're away. And it looked like your pole sitter had a little bit of chatter coming from the clutch. Might lose up position. Nope, going to sneak up the inside. And so it looks like it's going to be PJ Jacobsen who's going to lead the way.
And Matthew Skoltz just buried again back in 5th. And Corey Alexander, he makes quick work of Ty Scott himself. So Alexander, we've got Ray Hall bikes 1st, 2nd, and 4th right now. So Corey Alexander sees his teammate darting away. Matthew Skoltz back there in 5th. Watch for that R6, Greg, to try to peel it up underneath a couple people here in this next big long left turn 6. You can see him back there. He's starting out a little bit wide, and he rolls around the outside of Kayla, and he's trying to do the same thing to Ty Scott. Don't think he's going to quite make that one, but PJ Jacobsen doing what he needs to do early, getting out front.
Jake Lewis trying to make some moves back there on the Altus Motorsports GSX-R 750 on Yakov. Can't get that done. So PJ Jacobsen already with a healthy lead on this first lap. But here comes Matthew Skoltz, your championship point leader, right there on that yellow and blue Strack Racing Yamaha R6. Not able to do anything right now is Corey Alexander holding on to that inside line as Ty Scott on the Vision Wheel and 4X Star Suzuki trying to roll around the outside. Can't get that done. So for Corey Alexander, he's holding on for the moment, but all the while watching his teammate Ray Hall Ducati Moto with Expel rider PJ Jacobsen sail off into the distance.
Matthew's just doing everything. You can see he's very rarely is he following at all. He's on one side or the other of the riders in front of him. And this is where Matthew just has to show just a tiny bit of patience. Pick these next 2 guys off as he can. He still has a long race ahead of him. And, I mean, Greg, he's got 2 seconds now over the field as Ty Scott slides up underneath the inside of Corey Alexander. It's going to make him susceptible now to what Matthew Skoltz did. Watch Matthew here. See if he can roll in around the outside of Corey. Nope, not quite there. And you can see Jake Lewis is trying to do the same exact thing, rolling around the outside of Kayla. He makes it. So Jake Lewis goes a long way around and gets himself up. Looks like we have a big thing of dust in the background there. So rider might be down going into that turn 6 area.
Corey Alexander trying to hold on to 3rd. But right now it's going to be Matthew Skoltz at the top of the hill. He's going to have enough room. He does. He goes to the edge of the racetrack, gets it back turned, and that's 3rd place for your championship points leader.
Now on that field. So PJ's done a nice job. As you see, Matthew Skoltz really late here. He gets past Corey, really super clean as well, trying to go after the number 15. Although we've seen Matthew with incredible pace all season long. It's hard. It's a very difficult track to pass, isn't it? I mean, it is a very difficult place to get by people.
This is a really good track to have a good start on. Yeah. There are some tracks, like a MotoAmerica, where it's not that critical. As Skoltz,
he can turn that bike. I've talked to so many riders that he races against, Greg, and they've said to me, it's amazing how well he just gets the bike turned. So here's that pass again, Greg. You're going to see he's going to roll to the outside of Ty. He's going to get the bike kind of stopped out there. Now he's got angle. He's going to tip the bike in, and he's going to turn right up underneath that Suzuki and gets through nice and clean.
What's the key? What's the good mindset to continue to win a championship?
Well, I think you have to stay grounded and realize we're only midway through. It really doesn't mean much. Just continue to do what you've been doing because that has proven to be successful. As you see, Corey looks like he's trying to sneak up the inside of Ty Scott. He'll make that pass. That's going to make Ty susceptible to Jake Lewis as they get down here into turn 13. So Ty's going to fight right back on Corey. Just come fire right back underneath him. And, you know, this is all very tight, twisty section of the track. But I think for Matthew, he's worked with Ed for so long. They know each other so well.
She's got a lot of love for Ridge Motorsports Park here in Shelton, Washington, as we continue to watch the battle for the final podium spot. It's Ty Scott, Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki, who leads the way. And then you have a couple teammates, and here she goes under the brakes again.
I mean, that is an incredible pass. And not only is it an incredible pass, she gets the bike stopped and doesn't run wide at all. I mean, this next double left that she's coming into on the right side of your screen, she's extremely fast through here. This is the pass on the left. You can see how far back she's coming from, and she's still able to get that bike stopped and out. Ty Scott doing a good job there on the again on the right side of her. I know how hungry Matthew's going to be, and he's done a lot of the hard work to get up to the back, and now he's there, isn't he? So this is going to be now, where is Matthew going to try to size him up at? Where's he going to try to tip that bike up underneath? You can see he enters a little bit wider here. Yep, enters a little bit wider, carries a bunch of speed. And again, you got to think it's going to be coming down that hill, right? We're going into 13. He's going to just try to get himself as close as he can as he gets all through these little S parts. And if PJ opens this up at all, Matthew will sneak underneath. He doesn't, so PJ does a good job here. But you can see the movement that you talked about earlier with PJ. As soon as he's picking the throttle up, look at all those little sharp moves. And that when the tire's spinning that way, it's not spinning forward. As Matthew almost gets in the back of him.
Whoa.
Yeah, almost got in the back of him there.
So that was just a little bit of a mistake from Schultz, but the damage was negligible. But now heading to turn 13, how good is PJ on the brakes? This is going to be Matthew's first time to size him up in these conditions. You can see Schultz just going for it, but he can't. Can he get it turned? He's a little wide. Yeah, he was in awfully deep.
Yeah, the problem is the mistake he made 2 corners before that really made that gap a lot bigger than it needed to be. And look, he's going to see Matthew, to me right now, he's there. He doesn't need to be frantic about this. He has the pace to do it, and he has the spot. When he's observing what's going on in front of him, he can see the Ducati moving around a lot. The R6 is still driving and going forward, so he's got a tire underneath him right now still that looks pretty solid, and PJ's doesn't as much. As you can see, Matthew's going to line him up here.
And down goes PJ Jacobson, and Schultz has a look over his shoulder, and unfortunately, PJ lifted the bike up and wanted to get back into it and couldn't get it done. And we're getting information about this crash.
Yeah,
the racing incident, and it's no longer, there's no further review, so it's going to stand this way.
That, like when you look at it, Greg, it's not an intentional, it's not like an intentional thing.
As now the white flag will fly for Matthew Schultz as we wait for Yakov to come, and that's going to move Ty Scott up into 3rd spot. And now Corey Alexander with just 7 or 8 bike lengths opportunity on this last lap to try to pass Ty Scott to put another one of the Ray Hall Ducati Moto bikes on the podium. But right now we have a Yamaha leads the way from a Ducati and a Suzuki in our Supersport race number 2 on this final lap. Obviously, Jay, Matthew Schultz felt that contact.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard racing, but Matthew, and you can see this just sucks, man, because PJ's been he's had such a great year. It's too bad they made contact where they did. Matthew just looked a little frantic to me going into 13. I mean, look, it's hard racing. He's trying to win a race. But PJ looks like he made it all the way down to turn 13 and the bike stopped. So, it was a hard move. And I'm sure Race Direction and those guys are going to be looking at whatever. You see Matthew put his hand up after the incident happened. So, it's a bummer. He was trying to make a pass. We've seen a lot of passes in this corner over the years as well.
Yeah, we get word from Race Control that the 11 and 15 contact is under review. But right now, it's all about this guy. Not a good start for Schultz. He was caught back, and there was a huge gap. But for Schultz in the Strack Racing Yamaha R6, he was racing it up. Down to 13 he goes. And for Matthew Schultz, another one, and he's going to extend his points lead by 25 points over his title rival. Here he comes onto the front straightaway. And a big victory for Matthew Schultz here in the Pacific Northwest. Maximum points as we await the arrival of his final battle for the podium. And it's going to be Kayla Yakov who comes across the line in 2nd place.
Wow.
Ty Scott in 3rd, and Corey Alexander just 0.2 of a second behind in 4th place. David Anthony, could he make his way? Yeah, he does. 5th place for Anthony.
What a result for him.
third.
Roger, he said it in that interview. I love the way he said it, that he thinks we might be bumping and banging a little bit more after this. Do you think it's going to get dirty as we go for a title?
I don't think that it'll get dirty, but it's going to get aggressive. And
So, Jay, we go Yamaha, Ducati, Suzuki. Ducati, Suzuki, really impressive. And, boy, Skolt's got to be happy with that. He's with Hannah.